You've got dreams, don't you? You've got aspirations, goals that seem impossible, maybe even impossible to the world around you. But I want you to know, because of your faith, it will happen. See, the world wants to tell you that things are too tough, that the mountain's too high, the storm's too strong, and you're too small. But I'm here to tell you something right now. Faith doesn't care about what the world says. Faith is the quiet voice inside you that says, I can. Faith is the belief that no matter how long the road breaks, no matter how many times you fall, you get back up. Faith doesn't just hope, it acts. It steps out when others are still sitting. It believes when others doubt. You see, it's easy to give up. It's easy to believe that the obstacles are too big, the failures too numerous, that the world is stacked against you. But faith says, I'm bigger than this moment. And the moment you believe that, everything changes. You are more than capable. You have power in your hands, power in your heart. And the strength of your faith can move mountains. When you keep going, when you keep believing, when you keep showing up, the universe has no choice but to align itself with you. So I want you to remember this. Your faith will carry you through the hardest battles. It will turn your dreams into reality. It will make the impossible possible. But here's the thing, faith is not just about believing. It's about acting on that belief every single day, no matter what. You've got to show up. You've got to work. You've got to keep moving even when the road seems dark, because your faith is the light. I know you can do this. Because of your faith, it will happen. Faith drives action. Faith is often seen as a passive concept, something that happens quietly in the background of our lives. But true faith is much more than just believing or wishing for something to happen. Faith drives action. It propels us forward when we don't know what's ahead. It pushes us to take steps even when the path seems unclear. And it compels us to act on our dreams, no matter how big or impossible they seem. I think about it for a moment. How many times have you had a desire or a dream, but the fear of the unknown held you back from taking action? Or maybe you felt like the odds were stacked against you, and you thought it wasn't worth trying. That's where faith comes in. Faith is the spark that ignites the flame of action when doubt tries to put it out. Faith isn't passive. It isn't a wishful thinking kind of belief where you sit around and wait for things to fall into your lap. Real faith demands you get up, move, and put in the work. When you have faith in something, whether it's a goal, a dream, or a purpose, it drives you to take steps toward it. Faith isn't about waiting for perfect circumstances. It's about believing in the process, in yourself, and in your ability to overcome whatever comes your way. For example, think about the successful people you admire. They didn't just sit around and hope things would change. They acted on their beliefs. They put in the hours, faced failure, picked themselves back up, and kept moving forward because they had faith that what they were working for would come to fruition. They didn't wait for the right moment. They didn't wait for the perfect conditions. They believed in the outcome so strongly that they couldn't help but take action toward it. But here's the thing, it's not always going to be easy. There will be days when you question your faith, when you feel like you're not making progress, or when obstacles seem insurmountable. That's the true test of faith. It's not about how you feel when everything is going well. It's about holding on to your faith when everything seems to be falling apart. In those moments, faith tells you to keep going. It tells you to push through the pain, to keep going despite the setbacks, and to keep your eyes on the prize. Faith gives you the strength to act when your mind tries to convince you to stop. Real action requires faith because it asks you to trust in something you cannot see or fully understand. It asks you to take a leap, to step into the unknown and believe that, even if you don't know how, things will work out. And more often than not, they do. The world responds to action, not to inaction. Your faith in the process and your purpose and in yourself will manifest through every step you take. The people who succeed in life, whether in business, relationships, or personal growth, are not the ones who sit on the sidelines waiting for things to magically happen. They are the ones who take action based on their faith. They believe in their goals and their vision and in their ability to turn dreams into reality, which is why they keep moving forward no matter what. Faith drives action because it gives you the courage to face the unknown, the strength to continue when things get tough, and the conviction to believe that the effort you're putting in will pay off. So remember this: when you act with faith, you are putting your belief into motion. And that's where the magic happens. In the end, faith isn't just about believing something will happen, it's about taking that first step, even when you're not sure of the outcome. And as long as you keep stepping forward, your faith will lead you exactly where you need to go. Persistence in the face of challenges. Life is not a smooth, uninterrupted journey. In fact, it's often anything but that. We encounter challenges, setbacks, and obstacles that can feel overwhelming. These obstacles may test us, break us down, and at times even make us question whether the struggle is worth it. But it's during these times of difficulty that the real test of our character and success lies. Persistence in the face of challenges is the key to overcoming adversity and reaching your full potential. Imagine you are climbing a steep mountain. The path is rugged, the air is thin, and every step requires more effort than the last. At some point, the climb seems almost insurmountable. You might feel exhausted, frustrated, and ready to quit. But here's the thing: the mountain is not going to climb itself. And the only way you can reach the summit is by continuing to take one step after another, no matter how hard it gets. Persistence is the ability to keep going when everything within you says to stop. It's a mental and emotional resilience that keeps you on track when you're facing rejection, failure, and doubt. It's what separates those who ultimately succeed from those who give up when things get tough. In life, the challenges may come in different forms: a difficult job, a challenging relationship, a business venture that isn't taken off, but the constant factor is that we will all face hard times. However, the key to overcoming those challenges is the refusal to quit. One of the most important things to understand about persistence is that it's not about blindly charging ahead without thinking. Persistence isn't about stubbornness. It's about making a conscious decision to keep pushing forward while maintaining your focus on the ultimate goal. It's about recognizing the temporary nature of setbacks and understanding that no matter how impossible things seem at the moment, they don't define the rest of your journey. In the face of challenges, it's easy to feel discouraged. You might face moments where your progress seems slow, where you feel like your efforts are wasted, or where it feels like you're being hit with one setback after another. During these times, you must remind yourself that setbacks are part of the process. They are not signs of failure, but opportunities to learn and grow. Every obstacle presents a lesson, and the more persistent you are, the more you become to handle whatever comes your way. There's an old saying that goes, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. This quote encapsulates the essence of persistence. Success is not achieved by avoiding challenges, but by facing them head on and choosing to continue even when success seems distant. Failure is part of the journey. It's the moment where we learn how not to do something. And it's often the most valuable lesson we'll learn along the way. But what determines your success is your willingness to rise again every single time you fall. The greatest achievers in history weren't the ones who had it easy. They were the ones who faced unimaginable challenges and chose to persist despite them. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, failed thousands of times before finding the right formula. He once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His relentless persistence is what eventually led to his success. Had he given up at the first sign of failure, we might still be in the dark today. Similarly, consider the story of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before her books became a global phenomenon, she was a struggling single mother, living on welfare and facing countless rejections from publishers. In fact, the Harry Potter manuscript was rejected by 12 different publishers before it was finally accepted. If she had allowed those rejections to define her, the world would have never known the magical world of Harry Potter. But because she persisted, she turned her dreams into reality and became one of the most successful authors of all time. This persistence in the face of challenges applies not just to famous individuals, but to anyone who's striving for something important. No matter what your goals are, whether it's building a successful career, improving your health, or creating meaningful relationships, the road will be bumpy. You will encounter obstacles, face moments of doubt, and feel like giving up at times. But those who are truly successful are those who understand that persistence is the bridge between struggle and success. Persistence means you show up every day, even when you don't feel like it. It means you keep learning, growing, and adapting in response to setbacks. It means you stay committed to the goal, even when the end is not in sight. And most importantly, it means you trust in your own ability to overcome, even when the road seems impossible to navigate. In the face of adversity, persistence becomes your greatest ally. It fuels your perseverance, your drive, and your hope for the future. It tells you that no matter how difficult the climb, you will reach the top as long as you continue putting one foot in front of the other. So, remember, the challenges you face are not roadblocks, they are opportunities to prove your strength, your resilience, and your determination. Keep pushing forward, keep believing in yourself, and never stop persisting. Because success is not for the ones who never fall, but for the ones who keep rising, no matter how many times they do. Belief in the impossible. There's a saying that goes, what the mind can conceive and believe, the body can achieve. It sounds simple, but within those words lies an undeniable truth. Belief in the impossible is often the very thing that propels us to achieve extraordinary things. It is easy to dismiss the impossible as something beyond our reach, something unattainable. But what if the things we believe are impossible are only limitations that we place on ourselves, shaped by doubt, fear, and uncertainty? Belief in the impossible is not about blind optimism or wishful thinking. It's about having a deep conviction, a relentless faith in something greater than the current reality. It's about seeing potential where others see failure, possibility where others see defeat, and opportunity where others see obstacles. It is the unwavering belief that despite what may seem impossible, it can or happen if we dare to believe and act on that belief.
Throughout history, the world's greatest achievements have often started as what seemed impossible. The Wright brothers, who were initially mocked for their flying machine, proved that human flight was possible. Thomas Edison, after thousands of failures, showed us that the light bulb could be a reality. The idea of landing a man on the moon was once deemed impossible by many, but Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin's footsteps on the lunar surface proved otherwise. Each of these accomplishments was born from someone's belief that the impossible could be achieved. So, what sets these visionaries apart from the rest of us? Why were they able to make the impossible happen while many others were paralyzed by self-doubt or the seemingly insurmountable odds against them? The answer lies in their ability to believe, despite the odds, despite the failures, and despite the setbacks. Belief in the impossible is the driving force behind perseverance. It's what makes someone get up after every failure, after every setback, and try again. It's easy to give up when things don't go as planned, when doors close, or when you hit a dead end. But belief keeps you going. It reminds you that what is seemingly impossible today and every failure along the way isn't a dead end. It's simply part of the process. Feedback that teaches you how to improve and adapt. Think about a time in your life when you were faced with a challenge that felt insurmountable. Maybe it was a career goal, a personal dream, or a situation that seemed hopeless. Now, think about what would have happened if you had decided to walk away, to accept that it was impossible, and that it simply wasn't worth pursuing. Believing in the impossible is about expanding your vision beyond what you currently know. It's about asking yourself, what if there is a way, rather than what if it can't be done? It's about rejecting the notion that the world's limitations must also be your limitations. When you believe in the impossible, you break free of those self-imposed constraints. And you open the door to creativity, to solutions that others may have missed, and to opportunities that would never have been seen through the lens of limitation. Take a moment to reflect on the dreamers, innovators, and trailblazers who believed in the impossible. They didn't just think outside the box, they believed that the box didn't even exist. They saw opportunities where others saw barriers. They understood that to do the impossible, you often have to approach challenges with a mindset that defies conventional thinking. When you believe the impossible is possible, you don't just change the world, you change the way you approach every single situation in your life. And the impossible is often just a matter of perspective. Many times, what we consider impossible is simply something that hasn't been done before. It's not an inherent limitation, it's an untraveled path. As human beings, we often encounter fear in the face of the unknown, and that fear can masquerade as a belief in the impossible. However, once we step out of our comfort zones and take action, we begin to discover that the impossible is not a brick wall, but a challenge to be overcome. And the first step in believing in the impossible is to embrace your vision and trust in your ability to make it a reality. The road may be difficult and it may be long, but the greatest achievements in life have never come from simply following the easiest path. They come from believing in something greater than the limitations that others place on us. It's about taking the first step, even when the road ahead is unclear, because you trust that the outcome is worth it. Belief in the impossible requires courage. It requires stepping into the unknown, taking risks, and facing your fears. But that belief also brings a powerful force of determination. When you believe that something is possible, you move mountains to make it happen. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to turning the impossible into the possible. The truth is, we are all capable of achieving what we once thought impossible. We just need to believe that it's possible first. So, the next time you face something that seems beyond your reach, remember this. The only thing standing between you and the impossible is the belief that it can be done. When you have that belief, there is no limit to what you can achieve.